Last May, I had the pleasure of being in Bassano del Grappa, Italy, an hour from Venice. I was invited with my foundation, Dance for Health, to give a 6 days dance workshop for people with Parkinson's disease. And this week turned out to be a life-changing experience for many of us. On the first day, everybody arrived a little bit curious but reserved. And the back, Paolo, a man in his 60s, entered the building, a little bit bent over, small steps, shuffling, and on his right arm supported by his nurturing wife, and on his left hand, his walking stick. He took a place, and we started to do some small movements. Breathing, lifting a shoulder, circling an arm, opening the chest, and greeting the sun. And I saw his smile increasing every minute during that workshop. By the moment that Andrew asked us to stand on one leg, his wife and his neurologist looked slightly concerned, but Paolo did without any effort. Now I hear you thinking, dancing and Parkinson, that's a quite unexpected combination. But when you really think about it, professional dancers have been trained all their life to work on posture, balance, strength, flexibility, and coordination, to use that for dancing and creating. And it is exactly these issues that people with Parkinson's facing problems with. So they need to exercise, which is often quite a confronting one, and a very boring one to do. So why not think about something else and let them dance and just enjoy their movement, and in the meantime secretly work on these issues. And when this is not only in the moment joyful, but when it will be enhanced in their daily life, in their walking, their sitting down, standing up, eating, brushing teeth, you can take it with you. Then dancing is really a powerful tool. And apparently something like this happened to Paolo. During that week, on day 3, when everybody left the building, we looked around in the space and we saw the walking stick of Paolo. He just forgot about it, didn't need it anymore, it was just there. On day 4, he decided to walk all the way home, ignoring the fact that his daughter was waiting in the car to bring him home. But the most beautiful moment was the last day, the 6th day. That day, we were going to do a small performance, a Sacre du Printemps, Stravinsky, well, a little piece of it. And that day, Paolo entered the space, upright, proud, without his walking stick, no wife, in his finest Italian suit, and he was the shining star of the piece. And the moment when we switched the music from Stravinsky's Sacre du Printemps to Queen's I Want to Break Free, everybody started clapping, jumping, and dancing in full freedom. And I never ever experienced that strongly the power of creativity, the power of art, the power of dance. But that week I realized that it's something more bigger. That what we're doing is not just a dance program for people with Parkinson's, but it's an incentive for something else. Because Paolo didn't physically change in that week time. We didn't cure the disease. But something else happened. He changed his identity from being a patient into being a dancer. Changed from being nurtured in being challenged. Not looking at his problems, but looking at his possibilities. And it's by changing your own perspective, You yourself have the power to let go, to create space, and to look for unknown possibilities, if you really want to see them. And believe me, I can tell. Being passionate for dance all my life, and a director of a dance house, I've been diagnosed with Parkinson's myself at the age of 37, almost 4 years ago. And you can imagine by that time, it felt like the end of the world. My life did continue as usual, although unconsciously, also I became the victim of the disease. I became the disease. I kept on working for 200%, because if I would do less, it will be the beginning of the end. And you can imagine, it became from bad to worse. Something had to change. It was sink or swim. It was down the drain, or move my butt and take the lead back of my life again. So I did ask my ballet master at that time, Andrew Greenwood, if he could teach me twice a week a dance class. And this first class was amazing. We entered the space, facing a mirror, looking at myself was confronting, because it was even much worse than I imagined myself in my head. But during that hour, something amazing happened. After an hour of release, of improvisations, Andrew told me, let's close the curtains, let's switch off the light, with only you, the music, and the space left, and dance. And it's that moment that I felt light and free again, and that it felt like the Parkinson harness was for a moment completely off. Now, almost 1.5 years later, it feels like I have more energy than ever. I changed my perspective. I stopped denying the disease, didn't make it bigger than it is. I let go the old, created space for something new, for unknown and unbelievable possibilities. And a whole new life did start. It wasn't the end of the world. It was the beginning of a new one. I established the foundation then for health, and only 1 year after we started our first pilot class in Tilburg, we are now, by the end of the year, providing 10 cities in Holland. We trained 10 new teachers. We are already developing a new program for people with multiple sclerosis and for people with obese. And within 1 week, we will go back to Italy to meet Paolo again and the dancers, to continue what we started in May, which will be the start of a 2-year European project program. But I think my biggest triumph is something else. And it's something you just saw. By looking at myself and seeing that within my limitation, I can do anything I want. November last year, I was invited to open the Dutch Parkinsonet conference in the theater, an auditorium with 1,500 people, where I performed my first dance performance ever. And it was the most thrilling thing I ever did in my whole life. Well, besides the one I did here, just. I gave space to creativity, because it's the best medicine against fear, which is holding us back. Because I strongly believe that in this changing time, art can make a difference and can be innovative and inspiring to people. And for me, it's the dance form, it's the dance that can move things like no other dance form. Like Paolo, and like me, you yourself have the power to let go, to create space, and to look for unknown possibilities. Because if I can dance, you can dance. and we all can change. Thank you.